The Toronto Maple Leafs had Sunday off, but the news wasn't kind to them. While they rested, the Buffalo Sabres knocked off the Carolina Hurricanes, climbing out of the Eastern Conference basement and dropping Toronto straight into last place. It's a stunning turn for a franchise that hasn't occupied the bottom of the conference since the 2015-16 season, back when they were intentionally rebuilding and ended up drafting Auston Matthews first overall. That pick helped spark a 9-year playoff streak, the longest active run in the NHL. But right now, that stability feels like a distant memory. At 9-10-3, the Leafs hold the worst goal differential in the East at -8. They're heading into a 5-game road trip, starting with a Columbus Blue Jackets team that has already beaten them twice. Toronto is 1-6-0 on the road this season, and without their first-round pick unless it lands in the top 5, there's little comfort in the idea of losing for lottery odds. The injuries only add to the gloom. Matthews, Matthews and Knies, Nicholas Roy, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, Brandon Carlo, and Anthony Stolarz are all sidelined with various ailments. Even though Matthews and Knies practiced on Friday, both are still doubtful to return against Montreal. Head coach Craig Berube didn't hide his frustration after a disappointing loss to the Canadiens, calling out his team's inability to fight back when trailing. The pressure is rising, and the seats are getting hotter. But with a depleted prospect pool and limited assets, making a move for short-term help could do more harm than good. The window to consistently compete with this core is shrinking, and every passing loss applies more pressure. Toronto has relied on waiver claims just to stabilize its lineup. Goaltender Cayden Primeau briefly joined the team before being reclaimed by Carolina. Forward Sammy Blais added some depth, and defenseman Troy Stecher was picked up after being waived by Edmonton. But these moves hardly fix the deeper issues. The concerning part is that injuries aren't the sole problem. The effort level, structure, and execution have all slipped. Replacing Berube seems unlikely and perhaps unfair. He's only in his second year, and unless management already knows who they want next, firing him might create more chaos than clarity. The bigger question is whether GM Brad Treliving will even be allowed to make that call. And yes, the Leafs might miss Mitch Marner's regular season consistency, especially when the return for his trade has been underwhelming. The Leafs now face a defining stretch. By the time they return home after facing the Hurricanes on December 4th, we'll know whether this is just a rough patch, or the moment Toronto must finally change direction.